Cause I may be bad, but I'm perfectly good at it. Sex in the air, I don't care, I like the smell of it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me. Na na na, come on. Come on.
Come on,
Come
come
on.
on, ah,
Na
na,
na na na
na.
na, come on. Oh, oh my gosh, y'all, these episodes of Love Island.
Woo!
They're
Doozy.
getting messy, testy, and stressy. Um, hey y'all, welcome to the Shade of It All. I'm Brandon.
I'm Maggie. Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time listening.
Yes, and if you're watching us on YouTube, we're not in our usual setup. Maggie is in a very bright setting right now with the best light, and I'm hiding. No, I'm just in my apartment, but I had to turn the lights off because when a light's on, it creates like weird lines. So I just look like I'm hiding in the dark recording my podcast, which you know what? Whatever. But Maggie, how are you? How are you doing? How's Canada treating you?
You know, it's been weird, but like today is just bizarre. I don't know. Um, Yesterday it took us forever to get here, so that was fine. I slept really well.
That's
Then we
good.
woke up today, went to pick up my brother from the airport. After we got him, we parked our car to get some food. And like 10 minutes after parking our car, like five fire trucks roll down the street.
Mm.
And we're like, oh, did we park in front of the fire hydrant or something? Like, what's going on? And we look, and like a couple, like, maybe 2 or 3 blocks away is a burning apartment, like on fire.
Oh my God.
And we were kind of stuck there for like maybe an hour. It wasn't, I mean, there were other things more important than us being stuck, but it was just
Right, right.
that was very bizarre. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's been really nice. There's a lot of trees here, a lot of nature trails, lots of like walkable areas. So we took a super long walk this morning. That was nice. Obviously great to see family, so I'm enjoying myself so far. How are you
That's
doing,
good.
Brandon? How was your Saturday?
My Saturday was fine. I spent time deep cleaning my apartment because I felt like it needed a good cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to really clean it last weekend, so I was like, okay, we're gonna go in today. And I did like doing it, and I feel good now that it's done. But cleaning always takes so much longer than you expect.
Yes, I feel
So
that.
it's so annoying. I'm like, oh, I'll be done by this time. I wasn't. So, but it's okay. The only thing left really is like my kitchen. But I
Yeah.
usually clean the kitchen throughout the week. You know how we do. You're always wiping the counters and stuff. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have too much to do. So I'll just do that tomorrow. But for the most part, everything's clean, everything's good, and I feel at peace.
I love that. A good deep cleaning is a great way to reset a space.
It
Just make it feel
is.
fresh and new.
I
So,
even like took the vacuum to my couch to get if there's any hair or
all
anything.
right,
I'm like, okay, we're
yeah.
doing all this. I cleaned the blankets. I was like, we're doing everything.
Everything. Yes.
But so we love a good reset.
Yes.
But you know who doesn't like a good reset?
Huda.
Huda is particular. But low-key 90% of this cast. But mostly Huda.
They're so funny. These so we're covering 9 and 10, right?
Yes. 9 and 10
These two
today.
episodes were eventful.
They
Oh
were.
gosh.
And you know what's funny? Because I was rewatching episode 9 to take notes today,
Hmm.
and it kind of like it got to a repetitive point, mainly with Shelley and Austin and the ace of it all. Because if I
Hmm.
had to hear Shelley say it one more time, I'm really torn between Austin or Ace, when we all know she's not torn between Austin and Ace. I was like, okay, but then when it got to the leather and lace, it was like, okay, now we're
Yeah.
introducing some new things. Not necessarily
Hmm.
with that love triangle, but in general.
Yeah.
But let's get started. Episode 9. If y'all don't remember, episode 8 ended with a slight cliffhanger. Shockingly, Huda and Jeremiah were having a tense conversation.
Shockingly.
Shockingly, because the guys told Jeremiah how they think Huda is playing it safe and
Hmm.
kind of being fake, and because I think Jeremiah believes that in his soul, or probably doesn't really like Huda that much, or something internally.
Right.
He does kind of like, he lets it get in his head. And Huda doesn't respond well to it. Well, because what happened last time? It was like she tried to ask if he was okay. He gave her a double thumbs up. Like he was being weird.
He was being so weird. So like Loki, I mean, I feel like she overreacts. We'll talk about it. But he was being really weird. He was just like, I'm good. Just tell her you want to talk later and you need a minute. And then I mean, I think
Right.
she'd still act the way that she did,
Here's
but
the
like
thing.
at least give her a second. Like a double
Yes.
thumbs up. I'm fine with your hands in your lap and your head down. You're fine. Even Austin was like, "You good, bro? Like, you
Right.
all right?"
No, because you're so right. It's like Huda is gonna be annoying,
Hmm.
but like you Loki gave her a reason to be annoying.
Yeah, cause like I hate when people like act like, okay, tell me to leave you alone, I will. But if you're just like, I'm fine, and it's clear you're not, then that's like
Hmm.
frustrating, right? Just tell me what's on your mind.
Right. Especially if we're supposed to be a couple that we're gonna like move in together and you're gonna be a stepdad.
Right.
Like show me some respect.
Yeah.
But she does ask if he defended her and like them, or if he just like let everyone step all over them. He didn't, which is so funny because not to jump ahead, but we had our watch party last night, and at one point Jeremiah says he loves communication, but he's not the best at communication.
Yeah, yeah, he kind of folded because like when I think it was because of Nick. I think he really trusts Nick's judgment.
Yeah,
So I think Nick saying something really threw him off.
it
But
did.
like I just like Jeremiah, yeah, you didn't say anything. And I mean, I guess it is a lot to say he should have. They didn't really talk that long before Huda and all the girls came over anyway.
That's
Their
true.
conversation was a little interrupted, but yeah, girl, he didn't defend you much.
Mm-mm. He did not.
It came from the all-knowing, all-powerful Nick. So
Right.
the wisdom in the villa, I guess.
The uncle to your child, which that we'll get to that. That threw me off. Um, but she says, if I was playing it safe, I wouldn't have mentioned my daughter, which okay. I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like you would have had to mention it regardless, but sure.
Yeah,
He said he just got in his head, and she said, "Sorry, I came at you, but your shit is my shit, and no one's gonna mess with you." He tells us that talking to Huda did give him more clarity because he liked seeing that Huda cared, which I don't know when there's been a time where Huda has shown she doesn't care, but okay,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But then, he says he came here for love, not drama. And I'm like, well, this show's got them both. I don't know, like, what show you thought you joined, but
Right.
you know what? That's all good. But they kiss
All
and make
good.
up as they do.
They do.
Then we go back to the fire pit where everyone else is, and Chelley walks up and she still has pie all over her. And she's like joking. She's like, fuck you, Charlie. Fuck you, Taylor. Like all this. And
Uh-huh.
then Olandria's like, Ace, lick off the cream from her. And Shelley's like, you want to lick it off? Do it. And then he does. And Austin's there.
Austin's just like watching, and I'm like,
Right.
Austin.
I'm like, no, but I respect Shelley because she tells us, she's like, look, it turned me on, and like Austin's probably gonna feel type of way. And if I'm being honest, I don't have a good excuse. I just did it.
You
And I'm
don't
like, you know
have.
what?
At what point are we gonna be like, okay, Shelly, you're doing too much now? Like, yes, you're letting them both know you're
This
open, but
episode.
like, yeah, I'm like, okay, girl, you're really leading him on. And yeah, you don't have a good excuse. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Right. Like you didn't have to do it in front of him. Like again, like I don't know. It's fine because y'all aren't together. It'd be fine, I think, actually, if she would just admit that she doesn't really like him like that.
Yeah, and I don't really know what her holdup is, so maybe she is truly torn. That can be the only reason why she would wait this long. I think she's actually like considering them both for real, and taking her time. I think is she also a slow burner? I think she said she was.
I think she said something like that. So I do
Yeah,
get that. I could also see if it's like, oh, she really does like Ace, but doesn't want to put like all her eggs in one basket because she knows how crazy this experience is.
yeah,
So I can understand that, but I'm also like, I don't know. I just feel like she's shouldn't end up with Ace and she shouldn't end up with Austin. I'm waiting for either Bombshell to come for her or like Casa Amor. I feel like she's gonna
Yeah,
thrive in Casa Amor.
I think so too. Because between the two, it's obviously Ace, but is Ace really Shelly's person? I don't think so. Also,
Mm.
I wonder why Austin doesn't try to be like forward with her.
No, he's like not like he
He'll
almost
just watch
tries
stuff.
to. Like he'll ask questions, but like, oh, are we platonic or not? But then like she'll be like, no, I think we're getting to like each other. And he's like, great. But then he'll like complain to other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah, and it's like I think he's like being patient with her, but I'm just like, well, why don't you ask her if y'all can make out? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I just feel like he could push the physical boundary a little bit. Ace sometimes gets those opportunities handed to him. Sometimes he makes them, like when
Mm-hmm.
Olandria's like, Ace, you should. And he's like, oh, yeah, all right. But like,
Yeah.
what if Austin was like, you know what? I'm going to too. I don't know. It doesn't
Right.
seem like his personality, but he could have. Shoot your
He,
shot, man.
yeah, because he says later on, he's like, I don't chase because of my pride. But I'm like, okay, instead you're just gonna like,
Watch.
what loses you more pride? Trying and losing, or
Hmm.
like just watching it happen and then complaining?
Right,
I
right.
guess it depends on your definition of pride.
Yeah, I think so.
But Charlie and Austin do talk, and Charlie says he's been saying she likes Ace, and you don't want to be coupled up with someone that's letting a man lick cream off her tits. And he's like, "You're right, I don't. I'm that guy." I'm like, okay.
Yes.
He says he's upset, but can't blame Ace for going for what he wants. But he does want to talk to Shelley in the morning, and this is where he says he won't give up his pride to chase someone. It's like, okay, you don't have to chase, but you could try. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe that's also his way of being like, I probably should stop. You
Maybe.
know?
Yeah. He's like, I don't think I have a chance, which you don't. But everyone gets ready for bed. Chelley and Amaya make up, which I thought was really sweet. That was a good moment.
It was.
I was happy. Ace decides he's gonna sleep in soul ties because he's extra.
I was like, I know there are extra beds in that room, but sure, sleep in soul ties.
Yeah, I'm like, I get, or like you can't sleep next to Amaya. Like again, y'all don't have to cuddle. I don't know.
I guess she disrespected him that. I mean, look, I don't know if I would sleep next to Amaya after all that, but you didn't need to sleep in soul ties.
I know, right?
Like, I don't know. I don't
It's too
know.
much.
Yeah.
But he tells Nick he's planning a hibachi breakfast for Shelley. There's
Hmm.
a lot of build up to this hibachi breakfast. And spoiler alert, the hibachi part of the breakfast lasts like 2 seconds. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what is all this build up for nothing?
It's just breakfast.
Right. Like, I don't, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Um, it's the next morning. And Ace does have a plan. He tells Taylor to get his phone and say that he has a text saying, "Good morning, Shelley. You are now welcome to a hibachi style date with Ace. Let's chop it up." And so
Hmm.
Taylor goes and he tells Shelley, and she's all excited. And then Austin sees what Ace is doing. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Oh, I'm making hibachi breakfast for Shelley." And he's like, "Oh." So he proceeds to
Yeah.
make his own breakfast for Shelley and brings it to
Was
her.
he already? Wasn't he already making breakfast?
Probably. They were in the kitchen, so I would assume.
Yeah. I guess he just finishes the breakfast he was gonna make, but I was like, this is different.
I know. I was low key though. I was like here for it. I was just like, okay, Austin, like still make your breakfast. I guess this is kind of his way of still shooting his shot or kind of making an effort. Despite, I like the
Yeah.
pettiness of it. Like, oh, you're making her breakfast. I did too, and I beat you to it. And it's the same
Yeah.
breakfast, but I didn't have to do hibachi style.
I gave it to her first.
Period. And so he brings it to Shelly, and she likes that he still did it. So did Hannah. And
Hmm.
Ace even says, you know what? I respect it. And
Hmm.
it's like, this is kind of awkward, but whatever. We get to the infamous hibachi breakfast date, and it's just so exciting. There's all this build up. And Shelly gets there and she's just like, I just want bacon and eggs. And then he goes to throw the egg and he drops it. And then they walk with plates of food. That was it. That was all we saw. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but this date was just a chop to me. He said to chop it up. I believe this date was just a chop.
Yeah, I think he was trying to. I mean, it was a cute idea, but I was like, are we gonna do like an omelet bar? Like, are you gonna cut up some veggies? Maybe
Right.
make an omelet or something? I mean, she said she just wanted bacon and eggs, so I guess he couldn't really do a whole lot with that. But yeah, I was just like, all
Hmm.
right, you just want to make her a fancy breakfast because your meditation thing got ruined or your yoga thing got ruined
Right.
the first time.
Um, he tells us that he did it because Chelley once mentioned she's a breakfast person and he wanted to start her day off right. And it's like, oh, that's sweet.
Which you do every day.
I know,
But
right? You
okay.
always make her right. That's a very traditional thing on the show. But sure, double
Yeah.
thumbs up to you, Ace. Um, he asks her if it bothers her that he's applying pressure, and she says no, it just can be overwhelming because of her thing with Austin. And he says he has no competition, and Shelley says that's for her to say.
Yeah, I was like, that's very presumptuous of you.
It is.
I'm
I,
glad she was like, relax.
is it true? Maybe, but you can't say it.
You can't say it. That's up for her to decide.
Right. And he says he wants to be intimate, but wants to do it the right way. She likes that. And Shelley just feels like she's being pulled between the two guys again. So
Yeah.
same old, but we cut a little to Hannah and Amaya, and Hannah just says she feel bad. She feels bad for Austin because Ace had the opportunity to pick Shelley. And Amaya agrees, but thinks that Austin's gonna be fine regardless.
This is what I wish the girls would just say to her. Like, yes, Shelly, all these things considered, but why don't you think he picked you? Like,
Yeah.
I get that you don't care that he picked Amaya, but I'm curious, and I think you should also be curious. Why did he pick Amaya? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, let's just inquire. I don't
Right. I was
know.
just gonna say, let's ask inquiring questions.
Yeah, like, hey, Ace, like, you doing all this stuff for me? Why don't you just pick me? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And everybody is like like Austin mentions in the other episodes, like he had a chance and he blew. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? And I think it was to play games with her, and maybe that could give her some insight into who he is. You know?
Maybe. There's there's some speculation online that they're like playing everyone because they knew each other before. I saw something where someone said he liked a post from
Oh.
2022, and I'm like, well, he could have just done that like scrolling back and like liking posts. Like that doesn't mean they've known each other that long. But also
Oh, they
like
think that they've been like friends for a long time or something?
yeah, I guess, but I'm also kind of
Oh.
like I don't know, like conspiracy theories like that. I'm a little like, you would have to really plan something perfectly for casting directors to be like,
Yeah.
oh, yes, we're gonna, because I don't think the casting would like that.
I don't think so either. And I'm like, I- if that is the case, though, then they would just get in and couple up. Like, I don't
Yeah.
get the cat and mouse part, you
I
know?
guess to try to make it seem like, oh, we're not doing that,
But
but
why
I
would they
don't know.
have to? I don't know. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
confusing.
it
That's
is.
confusing. And like the things that, yeah, they would both have to be really good actors too. Because
Right.
Ace really acts like he knows her, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" You know. So I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory, though.
It is. We love TikTok and like I think Twitter. They always have like weird theories.
Hmm.
Jeremiah and Huda are working out together. And Huda asks Jeremiah if she should tell Nick now that she's a mom. He says whenever she wants to, and she says, you know what, I think I'm ready to do it now. Like I want you to be able to talk to someone. So
Hmm.
she's planning on doing that. Amaya pulls Austin for a chat because she wants to check on him to ask how he's feeling because she feels like something's off. And he says he's just exhausted being in this love triangle because he's been in one since the beginning and he
Hmm.
doesn't like sharing. Maya is like, was feeling kind of the same way, but she's happy that she was provided clarity by
Yeah.
Ace. So she's
Yeah.
like not in it anymore. He says he likes to just like, because he's like, oh, I don't. consider myself passive aggressive. I like to just argue for 20 minutes and then just be over it. And she's like, me too. And I'm like, we know.
We know, girl. We
We
know.
got it. You're like arguing with Ace, and you're like, he's still my number one.
Like, girl, what?
Right.
Can we conclude that the ship has sailed with them? I thought they might rekindle things, but I think it's over between Austin and Amaya.
I agree, and it's just confusing because I'm like, even with y'all talking, I'm kind of like, y'all should try to explore it because you guys are very much the same, but it doesn't seem like they're going to.
Right, because I'm like, I think Austin got the ick because she did yell at Chelley,
Oh yeah.
his his woman. So, but I was like, if she tried, maybe he'd ask and she could explain. I don't know if it would help very much, but like they did have some things in common. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I really did like them together when I first saw them, you know?
They seem to click, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something seems like they're not gonna try. Maybe they will when another recoupling happens,
Hmm.
because I think the girls are gonna pick, but we'll see. We cut to Huda and Nick, and she tells him that she has a secret and to not tell the other guys. I'm a mommy. Mommy? I'm a mom. Mamacita. Mom of what? A dog? What do you mean a mom? I'm a mom. What's a mom? Nick.
She has a kid. What the hell is wrong with you,
I'm
Nick?
like, well, I did not expect it to take that long.
For real.
I'm
Like,
like, what are we doing?
when his first guess was Mamacita, I was like, you, Nick, this better be a joke. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, maybe one guess, like a dog mom? No, a mom to a kid, yeah. But like, he
Right.
guessed a couple things. I'm just like, Nick.
He was just saying different variations of mom. Mother, mom, mommy, mamacita. She's a mom.
Godmother?
Right. And she's like, no, to like a human, like a daughter of a 4-year-old. And he's like, oh, that's
And
cute.
mhm.
Like, how does Jeremiah feel? And she says he's good with it. And she wanted to tell someone so he can talk to someone. So,
Mhm.
and then this is where he says, oh my gosh, I'm like an uncle now. And she's like, yeah, you are an uncle now. And I'm like, we're moving quick with these family dynamics. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I wondered if she was just saying that cuz like to be playful, you know, but I'm just like guess he's an uncle. I don't know.
Right. You're giving your daughter a lot of new family members that she's never met before. A new stepdad, a new uncle.
9 days in, like here's
Yeah.
all your family. Yeah, I thought that part was a little weird. Also, well, I was also surprised because, like, you know, they kind of had not a real spat, but she knows that he was talking about her the day before and kind of caused the drama the day
Mm-hmm.
before. And I thought he would bring it up, but it seems like water under the bridge because he just keeps going with her, like, in this conversation.
Yeah. So I guess they got over it. Maybe they talked a little before. Maybe she's just like, oh, like maybe Nick feels this way because he doesn't know yet. So if I tell
Hmm.
him, he'll realize.
Hmm.
But Nick does tell us that he thinks it's brave of Huda to like come in here being a mom because he knows it can be baggage to some people and
Hmm.
that he like thinks she's a badass and everything. And it's like, that's nice.
Hmm.
And this is where Nick shares that he actually donated his sperm to a couple that couldn't have a baby. And that like he wonders sometimes if a girl would be like freaked out or something that he technically kind of has a kid out there.
Hmm.
And she's like, oh my gosh, dead ass, you're amazing. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this about you. And it's like, no shit, Huda, he's telling you now.
Hmm. She's like, well, I thought I was the only parent, but like, you're kind of a parent. Oh my gosh, like, you know, like being a parent is kind of my thing,
You're stealing my
but
parents'
like,
storyline.
just so crazy that like you're also like kind of a parent too. Oh my gosh, Uncle Daddy.
That's wild. Are you a dad? Papa? Papacito? What are you?
The one of the cameramen is like, yeah, I have a kid. You have a kid? Oh, I have a
Oh,
kid. I also have a daughter. I thought I was the only one in the world with
I thought I was the only mom to ever exist in the world.
a
Okay, that's so good to know. That everyone's stealing my fucking thunder. Uh, well, okay, then we cut to Taylor and Ace. Ugh. Taylor asks
daughter.
Ace to teach a dance class, and
Hmm.
he wants to do something to show he's still Team Olandria. And he said it just as enthusiastically as that. I want to show everyone that I'm Team Olandria.
Hmm.
And then, Ace teaches the dance class and it's kind of lame. It's just like,
It is lame.
I'm like, this is like, I'm feeling nothing. Because then they even make out at the end and I'm like, I don't know. I don't believe this.
Yeah, it kind of felt forced. The dance was rough. Everybody's watching. Like it just felt like a lot.
Yeah, a lot, yet
And I
nothing
was
at
like,
all.
of dances, you picked like such a simple dance. Hmm.
Hmm. But hey, it makes Alandria feel nice for a little bit. So as long as she's happy, I'm
Yeah, I'm
happy, I
happy.
guess.
Yeah.
Nick and Jeremiah talk, and he tells him how he talked to Huda. And Jeremiah says, yeah, if you knew the conversations, you would know she wasn't playing it safe. I just want to get past the bad connotation of taking care of another man's child. I'm like, okay, what a way to word that.
Yeah. 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 That was like, yeah. I don't
There was something about it. I
know.
was just like, okay.
Yeah.
um, Nick said though he was excited when Huda told her, and he does say, it's great, but there are a lot of things that come with it, like you're going to take care of the kid and everything. And she may say like, oh, she doesn't expect it, but it's going to be part of your like life. Like she's going to expect it. Like you're going to do it. She says she's not, but she's going to.
Like, you know how she's like, you don't have to like pick the baby up from school and feed the baby and do all that. You're gonna have to do like all those
You're
things.
going to have to do everything and more.
I love that.
So,
I love that he said that though, because in true Huda fashion, I really feel like that's how she's gonna be.
oh, for
Like, you don't
sure.
have to, but like you should because I need you to.
Yes. Why wouldn't you want to?
Why not help me with
Mm.
our baby?
And then it'll just be another fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Jeremiah says, though, that the combo gave him peace of mind with Nick. So he's happy. It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
I get that they're really good friends, and Nick seems to be like a lot of people's peace in the villa. Like the guys mainly go to him for advice and stuff. So I'm just like, all right, Nick.
It's interesting because I just don't get it. I'm, like,
Neither do I.
he says the most basic things. I don't know. But
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It seems very basic. And okay, maybe they're not showing us all of it because usually it's like Nick agreeing in some stupid way we don't agree with. This is that
mhm,
actual first time I've seen him give someone solid advice. The
true.
conversation with Huda was good and the conversation with Jeremiah was good. So I'm like, okay, maybe he actually does help, but they just haven't really shown it. So I
Yeah.
personally from what I've seen him say, I really don't trust his judgment a whole lot, but maybe he's actually super helpful.
Right. Maybe there's something to Nick.
Yeah.
Um, Austin and Shelley talk. She says again she likes both Ace and him, but it's a weird
Hmm.
situation.
Hmm.
He says he was in his head after last night because they looked good kissing. And he says he likes Ace, but sometimes he just wants to go fuck you. Cool.
Yeah.
It's
We're
just the
doing this
same shit.
over and over.
Now we get Charlie and Hannah. And before they were like, ooh, the golden couple, but we're starting to see a little bit of cracks.
Hmm.
She says she thought she'd be open to everything, but he makes her feel calm.
Hmm.
He says he sleeps so much better at night with her. And I'm like, interesting. He said he wouldn't be surprised though if someone may come that may take her attention and like check all the boxes for her. But she says
Hmm.
he has nothing to worry about. She tells us she finds comfort in chaos and is waiting around for the storm to hit, but she's trying to live in the moment and that he has nothing to worry about right now. She's honest with us.
Right, right.
And then they kind of talk about how they feel bad for Austin.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Shelley and Olandria talk. Again, they talk about Austin and Ace. She says the hibachi breakfast was great and she likes to be pursued, but she feels bad about Austin.
Hmm.
And Olandria's like, that is crazy because they're both so different and it's so clear that you only really like one of them, but go off. And then they do say something funny where she's like, what the helly? And then Olandria says, "What the Shelley?" Uh, I do like them together and them talking their friendship. I just need them to talk about something other than Ace and Austin.
Right, right. Like their friendship is so cute.
Sierra and Hannah start to talk, and Sierra says she likes seeing Hannah and Charlie exist together. Hannah says she's
hmm
really a really anxious person and loves the chaos, and she has commitment issues. I love how she bypassed like, "Oh yeah, we're so great, it's so amazing." She's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking anxious, and like I have commitment issues, so like I don't know." uh,
She's like, anyway, besides that, nothing is
but
safe. Nobody is
right,
safe here.
besides the cute shit you're talking about, I'm
Everything is
existing in a
spiraling.
pit of anxiety.
Yes.
But then they get a text, and tonight the villa is hosting a leather and lace party.
Leather and lace.
And everyone's kind of talking about it and like kind of excited. And Jeremiah says he's wearing two pairs of underwear. Why? Who knows?
Oh, he did do that.
Yeah. Mm. Everyone's getting ready for the leather and lace party. And Alandria's like, look, I'm ready to get physical tonight. I know I'm a slow burner, but tonight, let's do it.
Yeah.
Austin seemed to be really enjoying his costume with his chaps and
He
everything.
was. Austin was feeling
He was
himself.
living his best life in
He's
it.
like, look at my long legs. These fit me perfectly.
Right. He's like, this was made for me.
And then he put socks in his pants. I
Oh,
think
yes.
him
He
and
was like,
Charlie.
we have to stuff.
That's required for this.
uh, Hannah says she has a lot of sexual energy built up and it'd be a shame to share it with only one man. Okay,
Okay,
Hannah. Vixen Hannah. I
Hannah.
like this. Ace says his stripper name is Graham Cracker because they want some more.
Oh my gosh. I must have missed that.
Good.
Oh, Ace.
Don't say that
Somebody cut
again.
his mic. Cut his
Right. We're gonna clip Ace's mic now.
mic.
They all have fun on a stripper pole outside. And
Yeah.
then brunette Ariana shows up.
Oh
And
my
she's
gosh.
looking good.
They're like, wait, is that Ariana?
She's like, "Hi, Islanders." And they're like, "Is that a bombshell?" She's like, "Yes, I do have the best outfit. I have a long cape. I'm the madam. I'm
Mm-hmm.
brunette. I look like a
Mm-hmm.
rich billionaire's wife. I
Yes,
know. I
hunty.
know."
Yes.
Uh, but then she gathers them at the fire pit and she's just like asking them fun questions like, "Oh, have y'all been naughty?" And Austin's like, "I've been a bad boy." And she's like, "Do you need a spanking?" Uh, and then like Huda randomly, because I think she asked something like, "Who wants to be dominant or who's gonna do something?" And I don't think Jeremiah raised his hand. And Huda said something like, "I thought you were gonna do more for me or like make more of an
Oh
effort."
yeah, like kind of like just to him, she said that.
Yeah. And he's like, "What do you
like,
mean?"
like, but I can't say anything. We're gonna hear all of it. I'm
No,
like, not even
right.
side comments, girl. But yes, like, respectfully, be quiet. Oh my
Right.
god.
This is supposed to be like a fun leather and lace party, and you're still like, also like, just what are you talking about? He's like, "So you're saying I do nothing for you?" Like, and she's like, "But you did say that." And it's like, "But what does that have to do with right now?"
Time and place, girl. Ariana's talking.
Right.
At least be quiet when she's speaking. Damn.
She's being fun and flirty with us before we have to do this challenge that's gonna
Right.
essentially break us all up. Come on.
Right.
Uh, we learn though that Hannah likes being tied up and
Mm-hmm.
that Austin likes public sex. And he says
Yes.
a lot of AMC theaters, he's like done it. And she's like, "Not in front of Nicole Kidman."
That was funny.
I'm like, "Oh gosh, we have a lot of AMC's here." I know he's in Fort Lauderdale, but I'm like, hopefully he didn't make his way towards us.
Right?
Uh,
Welcome to the movies.
and it's
This
just,
is the movies.
we just hear Austin. He's like, "Oh, who called the pool boy?" And we're like, "Ah,
Stop!
no,
Cut it
get
out!
away. I just want to see Wicked for good." Uh, but so essentially they go and there's like these giant X stands
Mm-hmm.
where you could get handcuffed and they have the girls tie up each of the guys to
Mm-hmm.
like handcuff and like stand like that and then they have to like either make out with them or just do something fun with them. They all do that. My main highlights were Hannah spitting in Charlie's mouth.
Bro. I
That
was
was
like, wait, and we're just gonna move on? No cast reactions, nothing. I'm just
no.
like, she did it so fast. I think he did a little confessional about it and they just moved on. And I was like,
He's like, it
oh my
tasted
God.
good. I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
it
geez.
got
Like,
50 Shades of Grey real quick.
it
I
did.
was like, all
Like,
right.
I was like,
But
okay, move on because I don't want to think about this anymore.
right. And then the other one that stood out to me was Huda because she kind of almost gave Jeremiah a head.
Yes.
She was like, I was like, because at one point she's kind of opening too, and she's like licking up. I'm like, wait, are we seeing what I think we're seeing? And then it cuts to Jeremiah's looking, and then it instantly he stops smiling, and we just see Austin looking like,
And I think he's in his confessional. Austin was like, man, that was fun to watch. I was
I
like,
love
what?
watching this. I was like, Austin, not you being a voyeur as well.
Huda pulled out all the stops, okay?
She did.
I
I
was like, whew.
and not to be a prude, I was just shocked. I was like, wait, I feel like we're about to see something
No,
like
Brandon. No, I don't think you're being prudish at all. Like, I was very surprised that she went, because we are used to just seeing people like maybe touch a little bit, make out a
yeah.
little bit, but not like all that.
Right, at least not this early too, because I remember they kind of did a little remember the heart rate challenge last time?
Yes,
That
yes.
was that was a good challenge.
Yeah.
Um can't wait for that challenge this season.
Yeah.
Um but then so after they do that with all the guys, Ariana reveals that there's two new bombshells coming.
Yes.
So they're two male bombshells, which I'll be honest, when we're first introduced to them, I was slightly underwhelmed. I was just like,
Yeah.
who are these people?
Yeah, I didn't really get the greatest impression. Like, just like from looking at them right away, I was just honestly excited they were there. I was like, I don't care who
Same.
it is. Just bring some male bombshells. Like, the
Right.
girls need a chance. The girls need a chance. Help them out.
Right. We need something. Um, we meet Pepe, who's 27, and he was born in Madrid and moved to LA when he was 3. He's looking for a wife, and he's here for Hannah and Sierra. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
care about Nick, and if Nick stands in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Jalen is 27 from Georgia. He's a traditional Southern country guy, and he says everybody's a big dog until a big dog comes in. And Taylor better move because he's here for Olandria. And I'm like, I know that's right.
We manifested him because we definitely last episode was like, we need someone for Olandria. So,
Right.
like, let's go.
And I love that he only named Olandria.
Yes, yes.
Um, so basically they get there and they have to like tie up the girls on the other
Mm-hmm.
side because the X spins. So
Mm-hmm.
they tie up the girls and then they make their rounds making out with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Pepe, I thought was he could make out. His making out was hot. Jalen's just threw me off at first because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like he would go for like a peck first and then he would really get in it, which is fine. But I was just like, at
Yeah.
first, I was like, oh, they do all that. And then Ariana's like, well, that's not it. There's another bombshell.
Mm.
And then we get Iris.
Mm-hmm.
So the men get something. She's 25 from LA and she didn't come here to play nice. She has a
Mm-hmm.
great body and loves to flirt. She has eyes on Jeremiah and Nick. So step aside, girls.
Mm-hmm.
And so she makes out with everyone. And then when she gets to Jeremiah, Huda like becomes like a contortionist. And it's just like, bitch, you better fucking stop. I know that's not right, bitch. And then she
I was
does
just
stop.
like,
I'm like, Huda, you made out with those two men and you seem to enjoy it.
yes!
And
Jeremiah didn't
now,
say anything.
right. But now that he's doing something, you're gonna like do all this and be extra and be rude.
She's so insufferable. Like, every time there's a moment for someone to ruin something, she ruins it.
She'll take the opportunity
And I
every
think
time.
and I think he said something maybe in a quick confessional was just like, "Dang, like seriously?" Like, you know,
Yeah.
he was a little annoyed with it too, and I'm like, all right, Jeremiah, I'm glad that you're starting to get irritated because we've been over it.
Right. It's just like too much. Like, I
Way too
get
much.
it, like, to be funny sometimes, but like, that was just like, you need to calm down, Huda. It's part of the challenge. And also, you did it too. So, like,
Right, right.
um, but the episode ends basically with Ariana leaving, and then everyone just looks shocked and in disarray after what
Yeah.
just happened.
Yeah. I really liked this challenge. I thought it was a super creative setup, like the
Yes,
X's and then the person having a turn and all that stuff. I just hated that the girls never get just a moment to just have bombshell. Like so
I
far,
agree.
like you let Amaya and Hannah come in, right? They came in during the challenge by themselves, got to, mess the like, cause stir some stuff up for a couple days. And then the girls literally get 2 sec maybe 5 minutes with these new bombshells before they bring in a
Right.
female bombshell. And I'm just like, why couldn't they just have this for a day? Bring Iris in 2 or 3 days. But like I just want that. I just really want the guys to sit in the vulnerability of like these
Mm-hmm.
girls could recouple with anybody, but they always get like another chance. It's annoying.
Yeah. I agree. My only saving grace with it was just I think there are more girl or more guys than girls. So I think that means a guy's gonna go home. So I was at least
Yes.
happy with that. But I do agree. I'm like, can the girls just have their moment? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. So it does look like the girls will be voting next or choosing
Mm-hmm.
next.
Yeah.
So we will see, but man, it was a good episode though,
It was. It
overall.
was.
All right. Well, we get into episode 10 and it leaves off on the game they just played, and everybody is now introducing themselves to the bombshells. So the boys go and chat, and the girls go off and chat. The boys are just like welcoming Pepe and Jalen to the villa. And then we bump over to the girls, and the girls are talking to Iris. She's from Cali. She lives in LA, and she's a spray tan artist. And Huda's like, "Oh, I need some of that." And then we go back to the guys. We meet Pepe. Brandon just said he was born in Madrid, lives in LA. Jalen's from Sparta, Georgia. He's a truck driver, so he does big rigs, 18 wheelers. Pepe says he was a pro basketball player and opened a gym afterwards and has an after school program. And then Charlie asks, like, okay, so who do you guys like? Peppa says he's open to everybody. Pepe says he's open to everyone, looking forward to getting to know everyone. And Jalen's like, I'm really looking at Olandria. And Taylor is in his confessional. Sounds a bit salty. Now Taylor is wide awake. Eyes are wide open. Doesn't sound too bored anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He said he is a bit salty that, Jalen said Olandrian. And he's like, he's a big one. And Taylor's like, I kind of have a hooper build. And he's like looking at his arms. And the two next to each other look vastly different.
They do.
And then over by the girls, Iris says that Nick is mostly her type, but she likes personalities too. So I guess that means she's going to be getting to know other people and looking at their personalities. In her confessional, Sierra says she's a catch and she wouldn't be a bombshell if she wasn't picking her man. Which is ironic because Sierra was the bombshell picking her man.
Right. Do you feel as though you're in the shoes of Beldasha now?
Right. Like, oh, poetic justice. And then she asks about their situations. And, some people talk. Huda does say, though, that they are the strongest and they are closed off. So in her confessional, Iris is interested in slipping in the cracks between Jeremiah and Huda. She sees that some cracks are there, so she might try. They all disperse. The boys are done chatting. The girls are done chatting. And we see Pepe. And why am I struggling with
You're
Pepe?
really struggling with that
Pepe.
name.
Pepe. Pepe and Hannah chat.
Yes.
She tells him she's still getting to know people and open to exploring. She says she's from Arizona and she's learning to be a doctor, and I don't think we knew that yet.
I don't think we did either.
Yeah, I
Because
was
I
like, a
remember when I
doctor?
heard it last night, I was like, oh.
Well, doctor, that's
Okay.
awesome. Yeah. And
Right.
she's like, yeah, I'm really smart. And he says, way to not compliment yourself. They have a funny moment. Then she says she went to Cal State Fulton, and so did he, which I think, I didn't look it up, but I think that's a really good school. So they both went to the same school, really good school. Meanwhile, Charlie is in the kitchen and with Nick and Ace and Taylor, and they're like, "Oh, he's stress eating," and he does. He does. He's like a 6 foot Spanish chap is talking to my girl or something like that, and it was kind of funny. And then Pepe and Hannah talk about tattoos. They both look at each other's tattoos. He says she's beautiful, and she caught his eye first. And in her confessional, Hannah's like, "I'm screwed," because it seems like she really likes him. And they
Yeah.
just kind of keep talking and flirting from there. But I was like, "Ooh, maybe this could be a thing."
This is a potential connection. Yeah, which
Yeah,
Charlie low-key manifested that last episode when he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone came.
literally, literally. Poor Charlie. Okay, then Nick and Iris talk. So, Sierra sees them walking away. And Huda and Olandria are like, "Don't look, don't look." But like, yeah, they're going over to this chair. They're going over into this direction. Um, Nick says, or Nick tells her that she is his type, and she says the feeling is mutual. She really wanted to talk to him. A fly lands on her like boob, basically, and he was like, "Oh, like you have something there. I don't want to hit it," and it just like becomes like a funny moment, like a playful moment. And then Sierra goes, "What the fuck is funny over there?"
What the fuck are they laughing for?
I love it. I
um,
love it. I love it. And then Iris talks about the person that she wants. She wants someone who's spontaneous, who likes to travel, who can be adventurous. And Nick is like, he wants the same thing. He didn't have that in his last relationship because it was long distance. She was like, her last relationship was long distance too. He's like, yeah, now all I want with someone is quality time and to be spontaneous. And she agrees. She's like, yes, it's better to do things like together. It makes it more fun. They are totally hitting it off.
mhm.
And Nick in his confessional is like, man, she's a cool Calabasas girl. I'm like, why are you talking like that?
Yeah, that was weird. I'm like, Nick, is this you trying to have personality?
Yeah, he was like, I had a hard time paying attention to what she was saying because I was just staring at her body. He
Oh,
felt like they had a little bit of a vibe there, but he did see Sierra peeping. And then they keep talking, and Sierra kind of slowly walks by them, and Nick
yes.
Nick notices.
See, this is Huda, take note. You do the walk by and then you leave it. It's a
And
modest
then you leave
thing.
him.
You leave it there. You don't then sit
Hmm.
across and eye them
You leave
down
it
and be
there.
annoying about it. You just do the walk.
Right.
Like, come
Right. She
on.
like walked towards the bedroom and just made an exit. It's like, okay, that's how you do it. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly how you do it. Um, so then Huda and Jeremiah chat. And this is an awful conversation. Okay? I've got the back and forth. But this is so just hang tight for buckle up because this is something else. So Huda and Jeremiah talk, and he's like, "So, like, what's going on?" I think they're like, "Hey, how are you? Whatever, good." And he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, Ace is so ridiculous. Ace is doing the hibachi thing. People are trying. Taylor did the dance thing. Like, can you do more? And Jeremiah's like, "Are you dead ass?" And she's like and he's like, I've had to process a lot, like, the whole kid thing, and it's not like it's a bad thing, but I'm getting my bearings, and I thought I did make you feel special because you tell me that. And Huda's like, you do. I just asked that if you could do cute little things for me. I want you to do things for me, and I don't want to force you. And Jeremiah's like, I'll be forgetting, like, you be forgetting all the small stuff. Or he says he forgets all the small stuff with all the craziness going on. And Hoda's like, I know, and I know you hate when I dominate and shit. And Jeremiah's like, I don't hate it. I'm just not used to it. And Hoda's like, did you like it? And Jeremiah was like, that was fire. I think he's referring to what she did during the challenge.
Mm.
And she keeps like talking about it. And I'm like,
Okay. It's just they really are taking this acting like the mom and dad married couple to a new level. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
do more for me. Oh my gosh, I've just been being this mom and this homemaker and this wife, and you've just done nothing to show you care about me. I don't think like look, okay, if you want him to do more, that's fine, but it's kind of like they're doing those things to win someone over. Like Ace
Yeah.
doing the breakfast, Taylor doing the dance. They're trying to like make up to build a bigger and better connection
Mm-hmm.
and like keep what they have.
Mm-hmm.
You and Jeremiah are like closed off and like this most
Basically.
stable couple. So like
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't need to do anything to win you over. Like y'all got each other. So
Right.
like I don't know.
And especially like how I also dislike how she like says stuff.
Right.
Like Taylor, like basically Ace did this, Taylor did that. Can you be more like them? Instead of being like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, Jeremiah, like let's have a cute little pool date. Like, what do you think about that? Or you plan something and then he can plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I get her wanting him to take initiative, I guess, but to his point, he has been doing a lot for you and taking on a lot of information and dealing with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Like he does a lot for you already, Huda. Like relax.
Mm-hmm.
And then for her to like just switch gears because I guess she maybe didn't like how the conversation was going or felt bad or whatever to just be like, so do you like it when I nominate? Like that's weird and manipulative as weird. Like you use sex to change the subject. Like
She did
that's
that
weird.
in a past episode too. I forget what they were arguing
She
about, but it
did.
was something. And then she was like, "Want to shower together?"
Yeah. And it's like,
Um, but she
so
does
you,
always like bring up another guy, like to kind of
yeah.
like, because we'll even see later, like she brings up
Mm-hmm.
someone like, "Oh, you should thank them," and we'll get to that.
Right.
But
And I'm like, is this competition? Like, what are you getting at? You know? So I just don't like it. And it's like whenever somebody gives her pushback that she does agree with, or maybe she realizes she's wrong, she just deflects. Like she's not
yeah.
actually addressing what he's saying. And he
Mm-hmm.
seems like kind of embarrassed because they keep talking. Because in her confessional, she's like, I like it when a man is obsessed with me. And um sometimes Jeremiah forgets and doesn't do as much as she would want him to. And everyone else is getting princess treatment and she's getting the bare minimum and needs more.
Again, it's like the other guys are doing it because they're trying to like win over someone. And also, like,
Right.
I'm sorry, what they're doing is whack. The hibachi breakfast was a chop. The dance thing was lame. Austin
Right.
just does his weird yoga. Like, I don't see Charlie doing anything. I don't, and like, look, if you
Yeah.
want him to do more, fine. But like, the bare minimum when like, I don't know, that was wild.
The bare minimum is crazy because I think in her head she's like, all he does is make breakfast. And I'm like, and he also doesn't talk to anybody else. He doesn't chat with anybody else. He doesn't pursue anybody else. He only focuses on you, only spends time with you, only really, you know what I mean? Like,
This is what happens when you
he
like
met,
lock it down way too early. Like you're like she is treating this like a
you took the chase
competition, but
out.
like in the wrong way. Like the
Mm-hmm.
competition is supposed to be like, okay, you're exploring your options. But
Yeah.
how you took it was, I'm going to couple up with someone right away, and then I'm going to compare
Yeah.
all his actions to the other people's. And it's like,
No.
no, this is not. That's not the Love Island way.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's things that Jeremiah does that we didn't see. Because remember when he was like matching with her? It's just like honestly, I feel like bare minimum is extreme because y'all are basically closed off. Just because he didn't say like, "Hey, yeah, I'm completely closed," yet he basically is at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, Huda. And it's like you're just seeing like, oh, other people got a date. Can you do more? Like, ugh, how she talks to him is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she's obviously deflecting, and she gets on top of him and kisses him more, and he's like a little annoyed that she gave him a hickey, and she's like, "I didn't do that," and then we just kind of cut away, and I'm like,
Who else would
"Huda,
have done it?
literally, Huda, what the helly? Like, what's going on?"
She's like, I don't know. They're like, she's spiraling or something a little bit.
A match made in hell.
Yes.
Like, come on, what is
Oh,
going on? And at first I thought they were both equal, like equal participants. Huda is some next level thing. Like Jeremiah could stand up for himself a little bit more, but Huda is manipulative and
we learned she's kind
yeah,
of a liar too. I think
she
that's what
is.
it is. It's kind of
Yes.
like, I don't know, but I was listening to a different podcast and they were talking about like the vote and how Huda
Hmm.
might freak out. And then it really clicked to me like that Huda and Jeremiah low key are like Connor and Mackenzie.
Oh my gosh, you're
Because
right.
remember when the public voted him to go on a date with a bombshell and she was like, but we're the strongest couple. Why would they do that? Like, that's going to be like
Yeah.
Huda when Jeremiah gets paired with Iris. And also just like the
No, because
Huda's overbearing kind of, and then Jeremiah is like
hmm
seen as innocent, but he also, he has his moments
he's
too. So
he
like this
does, he
episode in
does.
particular was mainly Huda, but
Yes.
it's
No,
just a
he has had
mess.
his moments. And yeah, because I really think him like playing along, like her being like, "Don't do that at the wedding," and him agreeing and like all that stuff. I do feel like he's an equal participant, but I just feel like I thought they were both. I mean, yes, they're both toxic, but her being manipulative, even like last episode when he was like, "Oh, and you gaslight me sometimes." I'm like, "What's going on here? What are you
Right.
guys doing? Like, what
Like,
is happening?"
right. It's just a mess.
It is. It really is. But Jalen pulls Olandria and they talk. And they both check in and say they're both feeling good. And he says this is his first time out of the country. He's from a super small town. He left the small town. His mom made him to, and his mom made him, and he ended up in Augusta, Georgia. And she was like, "How did it feel leaving?" And he was like, "I was sad. I cried. I left all of my people, everybody I grew up from or grew up with." And she says that she's also from a small town, so she gets it. So they're kind of bonding over that. And meanwhile, Ace, they're like literally kind of sitting in front of Ace and Taylor. And
Hmm.
Ace tells Taylor that he needs to step his game up. And they joke and say Jalen's accent is stronger than his. And it is. It's really thick.
Oh,
Um and then they keep talking, and she asks Jalen who caught his eye first. He says her, and he says she's really beautiful. He's complimenting her. And then Ace again tells Taylor like to be secure with what you have, regardless of who enters. Like I guess Taylor's just like kind of sitting there, not really looking any kind of way, but I guess Ace just wants to like calm him down a little bit.
yeah.
And then yeah, and then Jalen asks about like her current situation, and she's like, "It's good, she does. She's like, "I love him. I mean, I like him. I like him." And in her confessional, she says she's genuinely interested in Jalen and she's not closed off. And then she tells him that herself. So they have a really good first chat. It was really
Mm.
cute, and seeing them next to each other, I liked it.
I did too. She seems so much more like genuinely like engaged and just like, I don't know, her energy was different with him than ever Taylor. It
Yeah,
just felt like she was
yeah,
a little more smitten, kind
yeah,
of. And it was just such a wholesome
yeah.
conversation. It was sweet.
Yeah, and it seemed like the conversation flowed better, at least
Yeah.
from what we've seen. It seemed like it was just like a little more natural and there was more to talk about maybe, but it
Hmm.
was cool. And like for Jalen's a little more transparent, I feel like, to openly like in your first discussion
Yeah.
with someone tell them that you cried about something or you're emotional about something, like he's like very open with just talking to her, which I think is a good
Right.
thing too.
It was.
Yeah. And then we go to Amaya and Pepe. And she said that she's from New York, born and raised. She asked him, and he says he's from Spain. He's Spanish and Cuban, and he speaks Spanish with his family. And she's like, she's Dominican, so she does too. He asks about her family. She has four siblings, and she's the oldest, and they have really big age gaps. I didn't
Hmm.
write them down, but I don't. I know that Amaya's in her 20s and she has a 3-year-old sister, so there are a lot of age gaps.
Yeah.
Um, family's everything to her, and he says the same thing. He goes to Spain often to visit his family. And in her confessional, Amaya is like, "Thank you, God. This is an answered prayer. This is what I wanted, and I want more. Give me more. Thank you very much." She's like really excited about
Yeah.
meeting Pepe. And then he asks about her current coupling, and she basically tells him it's not great with Ace. She's done. He sleeps on the couch or something. Kind of ends there.
That was funny.
It was. And then it looks like everybody's going to bed, but Iris catches Jeremiah on the staircase. And she's like, hey, I just wanted, Huda said that y'all are basically like, locked in, like that, but I did want to chat with you, like if you're open kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, you can pull me for a chat tomorrow. So he left the door open, which I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as they're getting ready for bed, Taylor says Olandria was like smiling, and he says, I keep telling her all you just want to test shit. And Nick is like, bro, she needs to step her game up. And I'm like, who are you guys talking about?
That
Like, who are you
part.
talking about?
I'm like, what are we just talking to talk? I can't.
Yeah, like, I keep telling her about testing stuff. Do you? Because you don't even look interested in talking to her half the time. And what does Nick mean about stepping her game up?
Right.
Anyway, she made you
Looks like
breakfast.
Taylor needs to step his game up because Olandria now has options.
Right, right. And then she tells and then meanwhile, she's telling the girls that she feels great. She's like, I love a country man. And Hannah said she loved her convo with Pepe, um, but couldn't kiss. Or Olandria was like, did you kiss? And she's like, I couldn't. The boys were there. And she's like, me too. I wanted to. So they're both excited to like, take further steps with these new guys.
Yeah.
Um, Chelley says that she knows Austin is waiting in bed for her, and Olandria is like, yeah, Ace is gonna be salty about that. And then Sierra is in bed with Nick and says that asks him how was the chat, and he was like, it was just intro stuff, baby names, stuff like that. And I was like, it's good he's making it playful. I bet it's easier to digest that way.
Yeah.
Um, and then Taylor and Olandria are in bed, and he's like, why are you so happy? And she was like, is he in rodeo too? That's what she asks Taylor. And Taylor's like, no, he doesn't do that. He's not that country. And I'm like, Taylor is so bothered by Jalen.
Right.
And then a conversation from hell. While people are like sleeping, Huda and Jeremiah are whispering. And she asks him, would you share your location with me? And he's like, I'm not really into that. I don't really like that. And she's like, it's really hard for me to trust people like that. And she gets scared they're going to leave her. And that's a really sad thing to say out loud. But I'm just tired of being tired of Huda.
That part. And also, why are we talking about sharing locations? Again,
Like,
this is like the first week, basically. Second week, I guess, but barely.
tomorrow will be, this is the night of day 9, going into day 10. Like, I know that they probably have conversations at length about everything, but like, oh man, it's just her insecurities are ruining this for her. Like
Yeah.
she wears them on her face, and it's just, I don't think she obviously does not know that it can be a little overwhelming and a little overbearing. Like that's
Yeah.
not a good sign, you know? You
It's
need his
not.
location.
Why is that? Like, what happened to make you think of that now?
And I get that people share locations for do whatever you want. But if he doesn't want to, like I don't know.
I don't,
I don't
it's just
know.
like, it was just very random.
It
And then just
was.
like, Huda, you just keep telling on yourself. Like, I don't know.
Right, and her being like, it's hard for me to trust people, and like, I get scared they're going to leave me. Like, are you trying to manipulate him into, you know what I mean? I don't know. I
Yeah.
just, at this point, I don't know her motives or her intentions, you know?
Right.
Anyway, we get to the morning. Nick makes Sierra and Iris breakfast. And Olandria says that Taylor was very handsy last night. I was like,
Oh.
"See, I'm glad you're noticing
I'm
how he's
like,
switching up."
right. And it's just like, it's so weird because he's doing all this, but again, it's not like a passion like, oh, I really care about Olandria and I want to show her and like I really don't want to
Hmm.
lose someone like her. It's just like, oh, I don't want this guy to take her. And then but then it's like, why do you want to, is it just because you want to stay in the villa? Like, I don't know.
Right. Like you need your modeling gig to continue, your opportunities to continue the longer you stay. And then
Right.
you don't want to go back to your girl at home just yet. Like,
Well,
Taylor,
your
what are
girl
you
already
doing?
told on you, so like you're screwed.
She won't be waiting for you either.
She did it the first week. She was like, nope.
Mm.
Uh,
She's like, you know what? Yeah,
now
I'm
that I think about it,
airing his laundry. But I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna post this. Honestly, it wasn't even petty. It was like, yes, tell us the truth. All this information is coming out about the cast. She's like, let me add some. Look at this
right.
text.
Look at this.
So Jeremiah brings Huda breakfast. And she says, "Oh, no protein? It was just a pancake on the plate." And he's like, "Do you realize like we have to take a turn at the stove?" And she just kind of looks confused for a second and they cut away. And I'm just like, "Oh my."
Ugh,
Buckle in. Pepe tells Jalen he had a good convo with Hannah last night, and they are both at the gym, like crushing a workout, like the most I've seen anyone work
right.
out. Like Pepe is doing kettlebell swings, Jalen is doing like something else that looks hard. I'm like, you
They're
guys
doing
are going, and the
F45
other
shit.
guys
I'm
are
like, oh my
nowhere.
gosh.
They are. Jalen is nowhere to, or the other guys are nowhere to be seen. They're like, no, pumping serious iron. So Huda's up with the girls and she's like, oh my gosh, the pancake isn't cooked all the way. And Olandria's like, don't eat it, like, don't touch it. And she's like, man, it's fine. I'm just gonna go make a better breakfast.
Oh,
Nick says he's talking to Ace and Taylor, and he says they should do the meditation thing for Olandria and Sierra, and that Austin would teach it. So we circle back to that later. Iris is talking to Jalen and Pepe and says Jeremiah's hickey gave her the ick. And I was like, valid.
mm-hmm.
And then Nick says Ace and Austin are in a love triangle. He's talking to Ace in a love triangle with Chelley. And he's like, Ace is like, there is no one. She knows where home is. Just like, I'm
All
getting tired of
right.
your arrogance.
I know. I'm just over it all.
So we go back to the kitchen and Huda asks Taylor for help making a pancake. And she kind of like, ugh, like she groans at the stove. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see this yoga date. So Ace does a yoga date for him and Chelley, and Nick is the instructor, and he shows them poses that he really doesn't know the name of. He like mixes up cat and cow, and it's just kind of funny. He just
Mm-hmm.
shows them different things. And in her confessional, Chelley is like she likes how thoughtful Ace is. He always makes things up for them and it makes it fun for her, and she really wants both of them. It's very hard. She really wants both Ace and Austin.
Mm-hmm. Sure, Jan.
Is someone making you say this? Let us know, Shelley.
Maybe. They're probably just like, act like you like both. We need some tension of some sort. She's
Yeah.
like, all right. I
Okay.
do like Austin. He's nice. But Ace.
So we enter another conversation from hell.
Mm,
Huda approaches Jeremiah. And he's like, hey, what's up? She's like, hey, nothing much. The pancake was overcooked, so I had to throw it away. I appreciate you for trying to make it, but yeah, you need to eat all of the food. Because she like makes him two plates of food. And he's like, why? And she says, because you're a man, you need to finish it. And he makes a face and he's like, okay, mom, the fuck? And she makes her face and she's like, you should thank your boy Taylor because he helped me with my breakfast today. And Jeremiah's like, okay, what's your point in saying that? And I was like, I'm just saying. And he's like, okay, like the fuck? Okay, cool. Jeremiah's like not passive aggressive, but it's like he's obviously irritated,
yes.
So he continues and he's like, I do one thing wrong and you disregard everything else I've done. And Huda's like, that's not what I'm talking about. And Jeremiah's like, you're mad another man helped you with make breakfast instead of me. And Huda's like, well, while you're just standing there. And he's like, so now it's like every time you do something nice for me, I'm supposed to just jump in and take over. I don't get it. You said you didn't want to make, or you said you wanted to make breakfast, so you made breakfast. Like, how did I know I was supposed to jump in? And Hilda just looks hurt and she's like, maybe this is just how I believe men should treat their women. And Jeremiah's like, well, you just find the most nitpicky things and complain about it. And in his confessional, he's like, I'm not perfect. I know I mess up, but the fact that me not knowing someone's making you breakfast because I already did it changes this much is a major red flag. And he's like, I know what healthy communication is from watching my parents and being in therapy for 2 years. And her saying I should have known to go help is absurd. It's like, clock it, Jeremiah. Yes. Finally.
Right. It's just she was so confusing because at first I thought she was just being like joking maybe about the breakfast, but then to find out she was actually mad, I'm like, oh,
No, for real. And it's like she definitely threw it in his face that like somebody else did it instead of just being like, Jeremiah, I wish you would have helped with the breakfast. And you could have
yeah,
been like, but you said you made it. Like her approach was very passive too.
it was.
Ugh.
And it's just like, I don't know, that was rude how she was just like, your pancake was undercooked, by the way. So like I threw it away. Oh, and you should thank your friend. It's like, oh, he didn't know the pancake was undercooked. Like, she's very, because he said in a past episode, she's quick to complain and will find something wrong
Mm.
with anything.
Mm.
So it just seems to be that way. Like, even if he tries to do something nice, which, okay, like, maybe he should have cooked the pancake all the way, but it didn't have to be like this. I don't know.
It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. Her delivery was rough, and that honestly would have pissed me off too. Because it's like, I just did something for you and you're complaining about it. Like, okay, all right, leave me alone then. Like, that's annoying.
Right. Like, what do you want me to do with this information? Because you're saying that I need to thank my friend because he helped.
So passive aggressive. And
Like,
I get that, like, the conversation from yesterday is still on her mind when she wants him to do more. So I guess in her head, it's like, oh, see, he doesn't do,
he gives
he
me this
doesn't.
undercooked breakfast, and then when I have to recook it, he doesn't even help me recook it, which why would I want him to help me recook it? Because clearly he can't cook, but still,
Just crazy. Just
yeah.
crazy. So she continues. She's doubling down. She's like, these things matter to me. And Jeremiah just chuckles. And Huda's like, okay, so you're laughing, so like, you know what? Just eat this. Like, I'm gonna go over there. Like, and Jeremiah's like, this is just crazy. And Huda's like, how is it crazy? You want to know the difference between when you have a problem and I have a problem? When you tell me something, I'm concerned and I want to make sure you feel okay. But when I bring up something, you look at me and you laugh. And Jeremiah's like, I'm not looking at you and laughing. And Huda's like, I'm not even hungry. Like, that's so effing annoying. And she walks away and she cries. And Jeremiah just looks dumbfounded and he puts his head down. And I'm like, you know what's really crazy, Huda? The fact that everything you just said was contradicted by everything you just did.
He hates her. He's just like, because that's the thing. Because when she says you don't care, like you laugh or whatever when I have an issue, it's because he's over you and can't stand you. And you
Yes,
complain about dumb shit.
you
So there's
do.
it's all these things. Whereas when you, even though you ask if he's okay, you also flip it and make it about you, and then you complain and like so like you're there for him, but also not without making it about you. Like I don't know, it's just like
Yeah,
odd, and it's just like I get it because anytime she does say something to him, he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, the fuck?
yeah,
Like even before this, but I will
yeah,
say in particular this situation, I do understand why because it's like, why the fuck are you telling me about this
yeah.
pancake and how you had to throw it away and like. I mean, I get it, but I'm also like, I don't know what you want me to do with this information. Like, clearly, I didn't make it. undercook it on purpose.
On purpose, exactly. And I also feel like she contradicted herself because she's like, when you tell me something, I'm concerned. And it's actually like he actually just told you something and you disregarded all of it. So, he brought up very like legit facts in a
Yeah.
very calm way. But you only saw him laugh. Like the only thing you comment on is, oh, you laughing at me. I'm leaving. Girl,
I
bye.
can't even
Leave.
finish
Leave,
my
Huda.
breakfast that I cooked because you couldn't cook it for me, bitch.
Right? Like, so Huda, so as you're leaving, like, take a right, take a left, exit the villa, and get the fuck off my TV screen. I'm
Ah!
so tired of it. Like, I'm so tired of it.
Oh,
And it's like funny because like all of the internet seems tired of Huda. And I'm just
they
like,
are.
I hope that she can watch this back and just like do a little bit of reflecting because this is really concerning.
Yeah, because I think ultimately what it is, there's insecurities, there's all that. But I think we mentioned it before. It's her communication. The way she
Yes.
says shit is just so fucking annoying sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can't help but be like, the fuck are you talking about, Huda? Like, shut up.
Right. And in a weird way, she's very selfish. Like you
Yes.
only really care about your concerns.
Hmm.
like like even when Sierra came in or Amaya came in and she was like, she's a bitch. And then Shelly's like, see it from her perspective. And she's like, no, I refuse. It's like you can't even see something from like another person in the villa. Leave Jeremiah alone. You don't even empathize with the other women.
Yeah.
Like ugh,
But you're quick to call them a sisterhood.
besties.
Besties.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Um, so Jeremiah tells Nick and Charlie what happened, and they're both like, "What the fuck?" And then meanwhile, Huda is telling the girls, Olandria, Chelley, and Sierra, what happened. And she's like, "Last night I reminded him that he said he would step it up this week, and then he was like, I never said that." Head back to Jeremiah, and he's like, I don't know if I should just pivot or work things out. And Charlie's like, look, man, she's not your girlfriend. It's not official. You've known her for 10 days. Like, if things were to end, there would be other opportunities. And Jeremiah, in his confessional, is like, he's trying his best, and she's flipping the script. Like, this isn't who she said she was. And so we're getting
Hmm.
a little more insight here as to what happened, like, well before this stuff, but also, like, things that I didn't know that, or that Huda presented herself in a different way to him. Um,
Yeah, but
I was
also
surprised.
when she's like telling the girls about like, oh, I just tried to have this conversation about him saying he would step up. You're not mentioning that you said it like under your breath, like while Ariana was brunette and like talking. Like
Literally.
it was
Oh,
you could
that's the combo.
that's
Okay, I'm
unless there was another one we didn't see.
no, but you're right. That sounds like what she just said. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like it'd be different. I like context matters, but
It
okay.
does. It does. It really does. Because the girls, I'll get to what they say later, but yeah, they definitely don't have the full story. Iris comes and pulls Jeremiah for a chat, and Huda sees them walking and tells the girls like, "Oh, don't look," and they like joke for a second. And then she explains what happened in Soul Ties and that she wants him to step it up. And he always says, like, are you serious? And she hates it when he says that. And Sierra was like, yeah, like, what do you think I'm joking and wasting my breath? And Huda's like, exactly. It's not that hard. And I'm just like, yeah, they don't know the half of it. They really
Yeah.
don't.
They did have okay, because it was the art. I guess maybe she was referring to the one about the like, oh, Ace does things and Taylor does things. Can you do more dates with me or like something?
I think she was referring to both because she
She's
mentions
mentioned
like
it
one.
more than once.
Yeah, she's mentioned it. Yeah, she's kind of a parrot at this point. She keeps repeating herself.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it was both. But the show has been doing a good job of showing us the receipts too, because we definitely
Mm-hmm.
saw it.
Right.
So Iris is talking to Jeremiah. She asks him what's up. And like, what does he do? And he's like, he loves reading. He's a competitive Uno player. And she's like, oh, I play chess. And she says it's really good.
Competitive Uno. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. And then she's like, yeah, chess is really good. It helps you think 10 steps ahead. And then Iris asks him how his connection is going because she told me that you guys were, Huda told her that they were very, very serious. And she wants to say she's interested, but she doesn't want to overstep. And Jeremiah was like, it was a rough morning, but I can't let that affect how everything is going. Like, we are very close, and he can't just throw that out the window. So in her confessional, Iris is like Jeremiah, like she sees like the tension between Jeremiah and Huda, and she's kind of marking her territory, and it feels very high schoolish to Iris. And honestly, I would agree.
Not no.
I would agree there. Yes. um, Pepe pulls Sierra, and they talk. Nic sees them going. He says he was a pro basketball player, and he talks about the gym and the after school thing. But it's a lot, spending a lot of time with kids. Because she's like, "Do you love kids?" He's like, "Yes, but it's a lot." And Sierra's like, "I agree. Like, I love kids when I can return them." And meanwhile, Nic is downstairs sighing and looking sad next to Charlie. And he's like, Charlie's like, "How do you feel?" And he's like, "Seeing them, I don't like it." And Charlie's like, "Are you scared?" And he's like, "It does scare me a little bit." Um, and then Pepe says that Sierra is his type. And she's beautiful. She has a cute smile. When he was walking in, he was like, "I need to talk to her." And Sierra says she's happy that he is there. So in her confessional, she's like, "He caught me by surprise. I was hoping the chat wouldn't be I was hoping the chat wouldn't be good, but it was." So I think she's like nervous about maybe stepping away from Nic, but like kind of like it's like a sweet surprise for her.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor and Olandria do a meditation date led by Austin. This is
Mm-hmm.
no names of any meditative positions or poses are mentioned. It's
No.
just a lot of do the hoo 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 and the woo 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 and the woo boo, and I'm just like,
Oh,
Austin, this is cute, I guess, but just a lot of grunting. And
yes.
Charlie is us because Charlie is sitting in like a beanbag chair, just watching with like just a blank
It's like,
expression on
what the
his face.
fuck is that?
Literally.
Charlie's low key kind of funny sometimes.
He is, he is. And Olandria is like, these things are nice, but are you only doing it because of the bombshells? And I was like, in his defense, the first thing he did was before a bombshell, but I do think it is a little too
Not
late.
no.
Not no, not no. And they go chat for a second, Taylor and Olandria do. And she's like, the meditation was super creative, and then Chelley joins them. So Iris goes and talks to Ace. And she tells him like she came here for a real connection, what's important to and he asks what's important to her. And she says marriage is a non-negotiable. She has divorced parents, and he does too. They both think that marriage is very special. And Chelley is upstairs saying that she's been thinking about this whole Ace thing and Austin thing. And Olandria's like, yes, girl, Austin has been fighting for you. And Chelley says she's genuinely torn. Basically the same thing that she's been saying.
Yeah.
But she really likes the spontaneity and the intentionality from Ace. Like he's being very genuine. It sticks out to her. And Olandria's like, yeah, Ace has been doing his big one. I think Taylor agrees. And she said that she and Austin have started cuddling a little bit, but it was intentional. Like she's not just doing that with anybody. And Olandria's like, oh, you're in a pickle. So we get more of that. And then Ace is still talking to Iris. He says he's open to getting known everyone. Some people aren't, but it doesn't make sense to be all about one person so quick. It's not real to him. Iris agrees. He's real mad. Like watching Jeremiah and Huda just bothers him. But don't worry,
Mm-hmm.
Ace. I don't think it's gonna last much
It
longer.
won't last. You're okay, Ace.
You're okay. But Iris is like, yeah, like that's not real. Like she said she had 3 dates with someone and they said they were already in a relationship. And so they kind of like bond over that, like not wanting to move fast. And Ace says he took a while to get like this. Like he used to try to buy girls the world right away, but it never worked out for him. So that's why he really does take things seriously. And then Ace asks her like how was it like doing the game and having to kiss everyone? Iris was like, you stuck out to me. That's why I wanted to talk to you. And like, what was your reaction to that? And Ace was like, well, you saw my face. I really liked it. I was really excited. And he's excited to get to know somebody. He's excited to get to know everybody. Like, he really wants to find his purpose or his
Hmm.
person. Sorry.
Nope.
And Iris is like, this is my deepest conversation. Like, you've been really easy to talk to. So in his confessional, Ace is like, they had a really good chat. He's really attracted to her and he's excited to know her more. And Iris was like, you have like a flirty look in your eyes, but you also ask really great questions. So using them both together at the same time is a chef's kiss. And I was like, Iris is gassing. Don't gas this boy up enough.
Right.
But it was actually a really cute chat with the two of them.
It was. I wasn't expecting them to have too much of a connection. I don't know, because I don't even think she like said that he was someone that she was going for.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure, but it was a good chat.
Yeah, yeah, because I think she said that she wanted to go after Nick and someone else. I don't even remember. Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, so, but it was interesting. It was. And I think that she really took her time to get to know everybody, which is good.
Yeah.
So Huda and Amaya talk. And Huda says, I want Jeremiah to act right. And Amaya, the voice of reason, is like, I think he is acting right, right? Like, isn't he? And Huda's like,
Right.
he's not doing enough. I'm like, do you even like me? You can be the finest man in the world, and I will still leave you if this is the way you act.
Oh,
And Amaya's like, maybe he's not the romantic type. Again, the voice of reason. And it was like, I like romance, and he doesn't like it. Like, he's rubbing it in my face that he makes me breakfast every morning. It's the bare minimum. Like, what have you planned for me? Nothing. He's gonna lose me.
how is he rubbing it in your face? He was just saying something because you were complaining about the breakfast, and you've said something complaining about the breakfast before in the past. So like,
Yes.
what are we? You're completely misrepresenting the situation.
Right, and her ability to not like self-reflect at all is very concerning. Like, so
Right.
you didn't hear anything he said then. You really weren't listening. You were just talking over him and you didn't actually hear what he said to you. But yeah, sure, he's rubbing it in your face.
Right.
He's only defending himself because you were attacking him, but fine.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Jeremiah and Austin talks. And Austin is so nice. He's always checking on Jeremiah. He's like, "Are you good, man?" And Jeremiah's like, "Yo, if it takes a miscommunication about pancakes for stuff to get furry, then she's not for me." And I think I want to start using the phrase furry because I think it's a good description.
I wonder what does that mean?
I guess like messy. I don't
I guess
know.
furry. Okay. All right. I'm here for it.
But we hear you, Jeremiah. We hear you.
Right. Okay.
And then we go back to Huda and Amaya, and she's like, "Look, don't worry. You're a strong woman, and you know what you want. So trust yourself. When it comes to make a choice, when it comes time to make a choice, you'll make the right one."
Hmm.
And in her confessional, Huda's like, I like Jeremiah. I want things to work. I don't have eyes for anybody else. And it sucks because I'm like, damn, bro, just do it. Like, I know what I deserve. And I'm not going to sit here and say, please, please take care of me. Like, show me who you are or I'm gone. And Amaya just tells her, like, you got this. And so
Yeah.
that's it. We get ready for the evening. Everybody's getting ready. Iris says that she wasn't expecting such a great convo with Ace, and Ace is telling the guys the same thing. Olandria wants to know if Taylor is really being genuine. She says that to Chelley. Pepe said his talk with Sierra was really good. Sierra says her stomach hurts.
Oh,
um, and then Jeremiah is talking to Taylor. I think Nick and someone else was there. And Jeremiah finds out that Huda asked Taylor for help with the pancakes. So I guess
oh
because
yeah.
she made it seem like he was supposed to step in when she was doing it, but really Taylor made it. So he was like, oh my gosh, like seriously? So he's even more like confused about the whole thing. And I guess we're finding out that Huda even lied to him about what really happened.
Yeah. Because she said that Taylor helped, but she didn't say that she asked Taylor to help.
Yes, exactly.
So it's just weird. I don't
Very,
know.
very. Yeah, I'm just like another man stepped in. No, that's not what happened, girlie. That's
You
not what happened at
asked,
all.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so we find that out. More Pancake Gate is a thing, guys. We'll
Right.
find out more about it later. They play, everybody goes to the table, they're all ready, and they kind of play truth or dare for a second. We really only see one. They dared Austin to practice sex positions with Chelley, and Ace kind
Boo.
of looks away, but was
Lackluster.
it was very lackluster.
It was his
Yeah.
moment to shine and he didn't take it.
He didn't take it because I'm like, Austin, I feel like I've seen you do more than what you just did with her just now.
Right.
Um, Nick and Iris talk, they laugh. He said he wanted to talk to her all day. His gears are turning. He was really happy that she came. And she's like, yes, I was paying attention to you too. Like, it's really easy to talk to you. They continue to hit it off. Sierra looks upset, but I don't actually know if she's looking at them or not this time around.
Yeah.
But he says even though he's coupled up, he really wants to get to know her in his confessional. And then Pepe and Sierra talk on the dock and they continue to hit it off. They're really having a great conversation. They
Mm-hmm.
talk about more like about their backgrounds and stuff and like just finding more similarities out about each other. And I'm really starting to like them too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
He says something like, I wasn't expecting to meet a girl like this.
hmm
I've never had a conversation with a girl like this. Like, I don't know. Like, I get what he's saying, but it also kind of sounds like usually I talk to dumb girls. Girls are stupid, but you're a smart girl, and I like that. And it's like, huh?
yeah,
Cut to the
I
end of
don't
this episode when you're trying to do something else.
yeah. Yeah. Did you get the feeling that Pepe was saying the same thing to Hannah and Sierra?
Maybe. What did he say to? Because with Hannah, like in the beginning of the episode,
Yeah, because I felt like he told them both, I had my eye on you and I knew I wanted to talk to you. Making it seem like he was only had eyes for one person. Like I remember
yeah.
him telling Sierra like, "Oh, I saw you and I really wanted to talk to you." You know?
Mm-hmm.
So some of the things he says, I wonder if it's just like kind of fluff, you know?
Probably. He probably has like a list or go-tos.
Yeah, I think that is it. But yeah. The whole smart comment was interesting and I'm like, she told you she was a doctor earlier. Why are you even saying that?
Oh yeah, that was Hannah.
Oh, we're talking about Sierra. Sorry, I'm mixing them
Okay.
up.
What is what is Sierra? Sierra? What does she do? Not that it matters. She's
Um,
smart, but like
I
I just
don't remember
forget.
at all.
I think all the women here are smart,
They
Pepe.
are. They are. They are. Yeah, they're all doing something. Okay, so then we see Olandria and Jalen, and they continue to hit it off.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really just like talking, asking him questions, and this man is an open book.
He
They talk
is.
about his job, and he's like, "Yes, like I work on the truck. I'm a truck driver. This is what I do." So she's like, "What's your normal week like?" And he's like, "Usually I work like Monday to Thursday." And she's like, "Okay, so like you got the weekend free. What do you go do?" He's like, "I go see my grandma." Jalen. Oh my gosh, Jalen. I think some
So
people
sweet.
might feel away about. I thought this was the most sincere, genuine, sweet thing ever.
It
Like,
seemed that way, and that's why I think we were watching it last night. I was like, I hope nothing comes out about him because this seems so
please,
wholesome and sweet.
please, like, look, internet, do your worst. Do your worst, but like, come on.
Let us
Like,
have Jalen.
please, Jalen, be a real good guy.
Ugh.
And meanwhile, obviously, Taylor and Nick are talking shit. And, Taylor is obviously bothered by it. And at one point, Nick asks, or Nick can see Olandria and Jalen. And Nick says, "Oh, he's helping her down the stairs." And Taylor's like, "Man, she could do that herself.
Oh,
You should be helping her down the stairs, man."
right? You're doing a lot of
Like,
complaining, but not really enough action except for these like fake dates.
exactly, exactly. Ace and Iris talk more after this, and he talks about like, how kind of he's like slow to connect physically with people. That's not something that he really does right away. And she seems like she's cool with it. But they continue to talk. Like it seems like basically everything that Ace says, Iris is cool with it.
Yeah.
Iris is like down with it. They talk about theme parks. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I love Six Flags," and in her confessional, she's like, "Just like this is really exciting to hit it off." I don't think she really expected to be talking to Ace at all.
Yeah.
And she gets up and walks away to go do something, and Ace kind of turns and looks at her, and then like finds a camera and is just like, finds a camera and is just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like he seems really smitten by her. Like he really
Yeah.
likes her.
He
He
wasn't
really, really likes
expecting
her.
this. And I'm like, oh, Chelley, maybe your decision about Austin or Ace is going to be made. I don't know. I mean, they just met, so who knows? But it
Yeah,
just shows how messy and even more convoluted the
right.
Love Island dynamics can get.
And just how fast things can change. Like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's good that she hasn't chosen yet. But
Right.
also, I wonder if Austin will feel like a second choice, which is not a great feeling. So,
Well, because he is. So.
oh gosh. And then finally we see Pepe and Hannah, and they're speaking in the speakeasy. They're on
Yeah.
the couches and they are all giggly and just chatty, but it's just a very flirtatious conversation. They're both feeling each other vibes. And I think that he goes ahead and he asks her, like, what do you want to do right now? And she's just like,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. I'm not
Nothing I can
sure.
say out loud.
And obviously they show Charlie a little bit, and then she just she's like, you know what? And she gets on his lap and they start making out in the
Yeah.
speakeasy. And I'm like, okay, Hannah, let's go.
She's going for it. I'm here for it completely. She's just like, fuck it, we're having fun.
Yes.
And it's just also a juxtaposition between how he was with Sierra and how he is with Hannah now.
Yeah. Yeah. We really
But
see that he's feeling Hannah a little bit more.
yeah, it was funny though, because Charlie's like, I hope they're not doing this, or he's kind of spiraling. I was listening to Bitches Better, and the host Raven was like, well, you should have just let him stay in the kitchen. Because initially
Oh
Pepe
yeah.
wanted
I
to
missed
just
that
be in
part.
the kitchen, was like, Charlie, can you give us a minute? And Charlie's like, well, I'm cooking. So now they're hiding in the speakeasy. Had they just been out in the open, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
That's true. And when it happened, I was like, you know what, Charlie, I'm kind of glad you didn't let this guy bully you out of the kitchen. But
Same.
in hindsight, yeah, you just gave them
Right.
more privacy. But yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know. I see a little bit of arrogance in Pepe to just be like, "Hey, bro, we need the kitchen." Like that's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. But yeah, little do you know what's happening in this speakeasy.
Mm-mm.
But that was the end of the episode, and then we had a vote.
Oh,
So America
yes.
got to vote on who the Bombshells should couple up with. So who Iris, Jalen, and Pepe should couple up with. And I think we voted the same way, Brandon, but let me know if we didn't.
Okay. I think we did too.
Okay, I picked Olandria for Jalen.
Yes.
I picked for Iris, I picked Jeremiah.
Yes. And the
And
internet's on board. They're like, oh, that's so cute. Jeremiah, you will be with Iris. Because I think maybe they were talking, seeing like, oh, Iris really likes Ace. And it's like, that's great. So you're going to be with
no,
Jeremiah.
no, yes. I was like, if we get to pick, let Jeremiah and maybe this will be Jeremiah's sign from the heavens that maybe everything is not what it not everything is going like you don't sometimes you're like wondering like is this right, am I seeing this right, and he could be like yeah, like I am,
Yeah.
I've been clocking it.
Right.
And then I can't remember, I think I picked Hannah for Pepe.
I think I did too.
Yeah. I don't think I
Yeah.
picked Sierra because that would have been the other person. Because I kind of wanted to pick Sierra just to like maybe, mess things up with Nick a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, because they were also making it seem like, oh, maybe Nick and Iris, but to me, they didn't seem like that connected. Like they did not seem connected, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Right, right,
And then Pepe
right.
and Sierra were cute, but then Hannah. So
Yeah, yeah. I was like, let Hannah have some fun. It's gonna mix it up for Charlie. But I wonder, look, every time America voted last season at least, the votes affected things, but not like we didn't get the final say. So I
right.
wonder if they'll go on a date
Maybe.
or if they'll really make them couple up. If they do, hey, that would be cool.
I think it was to make them a couple, but like you said, kind of making them a couple doesn't really matter in Love Island. Like it really only dictates where you sleep.
Right.
Um, but I wonder if it's gonna be like, okay, they reveal the vote, and then it's like people are coupled, and then it's like, okay, now the rest of the girls have to pick a guy, and then someone will
Uh,
go home. If that's the case, bye
mhm.
Taylor, because I don't think anyone's picking you.
Yeah, I think Taylor is gonna be the next person to go home the way things are looking. And yeah. Yeah, because I think I was like maybe Austin, but I think Amaya would pick Austin before picking no one.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? But yeah, man, these two episodes were pretty good. I feel like the second one was just like episode 10 was just the whole entire time. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm like, there was a lot to go over. I still stand by it. This season is really good so far.
I stand by it too. And I like, even though the bombshells were slightly underwhelming at first, they really did come and like shake things up. And I
Hmm.
grew to like them this episode.
Me too.
So
Me too. I like
I
them. I
like
like
them.
them. I Pepe's a little arrogant for my taste, but I like him.
Yeah.
And Iris, even though she's here to like, not even be messy. She's here to shoot her shot, and I respect the way that she's
Yeah.
going about it and the way that she's doing it. You know, it's
Agreed.
cool. It's cool.
It is. But I think that's it for today's episode. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, these were two fun ones. Yeah, so next week, I know the After Sun was on tonight, so we'll go over the highlights of that next episode, and then the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday episodes as well. I know Janae and Serena are on After Sun, so that should
Yep.
be exciting at least. But yeah, in the meantime, in between time, y'all should rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts. Give
Yes.
us 5 stars, leave us a review. We love to shout those out. Also, give us 5 stars on Spotify and comment on the episodes. Those are super fun too. If you want to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to our beautiful voices, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast. We post clips on TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast. We have our Instagram at the Shade of It All Pod, and we have Patreon at the
We
Shade of It All.
do.
Every
Yes.
Friday, we do a live watch party, and it's super fun. We like to
Hmm.
engage with y'all. Shout out last night to Jalissa, Anna, and Madison. They joined yesterday, and we got to
Yes.
talk, and it was
Yes. It
super
was so
fun.
fun.
It was an interesting because Maggie's in Canada, so we were trying to like figure out how to do it, and we had to do it on the phone because only
Hmm.
YouTube Mobile would let us join like at the same time. And then also Maggie couldn't get Peacock at first because
Oh my
Canada, so she had to get
gosh.
a VPN.
Y'all, that was so insane. Like we're like 10 minutes from like when we need to go live. And I'm like, Brandon, I can't watch. Like it says it's not available in Canada. I had to download. Shout out to ExpressVPN sponsor us because I was
Right.
like I needed to
But
download
really,
it
because we were able to do it so quick.
in like 3 minutes. Like if you ever want to watch a show from another country, ExpressVPN or any VPN, honestly, it's so handy. I
Yeah.
was like, but it was just so
Mm.
bizarre. I was not expecting that.
Yes. So we made it work. We were just
Yeah.
a little late, and there was at one point where I accidentally didn't make the stream unlisted. So if you're watching on YouTube and you saw our stream for 2 seconds, that was an accident. But if you do want to see it, you got to be a Patreon member.
Be a Patreon member, yes. But thanks
Yeah.
for joining. Like that's what I was like,
Right.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe in the future we'll do more non-Patreon ones at some point, but like these specifically are Patreon. So,
Yeah, yes, 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 yes.
but with that being said, we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.